Hi everyone, it is Erin, and today I wanted to teach you a little bit about the Google tool Made with Code. As you can see, you can just type in madewithcode.com. It'll take you to this lovely website. Before we get to the Start Coding button, we are going to look a little bit at the About for this website. Here it gives you the basic story in numbers because this site is geared towards girls, because if you scroll down here, women aren't represented quite equally in roles that make technology happen, and technology is now a big part of our lives. However, I think this website would actually be great for any student, any gender, because it's incorporating science and math technology in a way that's fun for them, and it's a great introduction to coding. So that brings us to, what is coding exactly? When I think of coding, I think of typing in a bunch of numbers and letters and words and formulas to make something appear. This website says coding is a tool that lets you write your story with technology. You can communicate your ideas with a computer or a program so they can be brought to life in bigger, brighter, and more creative ways. You'll see as we go on in this tutorial that there's a lot of different things you can do with coding, and that it's not just typing in a bunch of letters and numbers. There's different ways to go about coding. So that takes us to the projects page. There are several different options, several games, activities for students to participate in on madewithcode.com. Some are related to movies like Hidden Figures or Inside Out. There's a dress you can create, emojis. I'm sure lots of students would love playing around with that. Accessorizing, music mixer, making a Yeti dance, a heart for Valentine's Day, create, design your own heart, garden robot, kaleidoscope, GIF, create one, beats, and dance visualizer. The two I want to show you today are Garden Robot and the Music Mixer, because I think these work across the board for all students and kind of give you a different look at totally different ways to use code. Let's start with the Garden Robot. Click Just Add Water here. Okay, so as you can see, our objective is to give each pot 2 drops of water. It explains to start by dragging and snapping the robot block onto the workspace. So this is your workspace here. And it tells you here how many more steps you have in this game. On this level, we're on level 1. You can always click this question mark if you need help. It explains it. Quick rundown on how Blockly works, which is the type of coding we're doing. Drag each piece from the menu on the left and connect it to the pieces in the workspace. Look for yellow highlights to know where each piece goes. To delete a block, just drag it over to the trash can icon at the bottom of the screen. So definitely makes it, oh, there's your trash can button. Definitely makes it user-friendly. Great for students to just have this basic introduction in a way that is engaging for them. So to add water to the pots, we have to move that to the robot block. And then lovely variables, which our students are probably learning about, different variables in science experiments. So we're supposed to add 2. So we're going to tell that to do that. And little note here, we have to water each pot in order, so we have to add the move right action before we add another water to the pot. And then make sure, can't forget to add a variable. Okay, so move right, add water to a pot, move right, add water to a pot. We'll get our variables in here. As you kind of go and start to learn, you go a little faster. Okay, so if I did this properly, when I click water, it's going to work here. And then we'll move on to level 2. So let's just see. Yay, we did it. Okay, so we're going to go explore what happens on the next level. So it explains that some of these pots have water in them already. They all have to get 2 units of water. So what I want to do is see what happens when I do something incorrectly. So we're going to add all these in here. One more of these. Okay. Add our variables in. Okay. So obviously, if we're supposed to have 2 in each, and this one already has 1, I should put in 1. However, I'm going to act like I don't understand the directions. We're going to go ahead and try to do this. What happens here? Something went wrong. Try rewriting the code and see what happens. I love this, that it allows students to go back and try it again until they get it right. So they can correct what they didn't understand and keep going. As you can see, this one has 5 levels. It's going to change the numbers every time. So it's a little bit different, makes it a little more challenging for students. It isn't just adding the same exact thing, it kind of makes it harder on them each time. Okay, we're going to jump to level 3 now, just to give you a glimpse at some of the changes and progressions that this activity has. So this one we only have 7 blocks left. So it kind of gives you clues as to what you're able to do. So we're going to add our robot. This time we get the option for this logic button to repeat instructions. There's a repeat block that will continuously repeat the instructions inside of it. So I'm going to add that. So then obviously we want to get 2 in each of these. So I think if I'm doing this properly, we can tell this to do 2 and move to the right, do 2, move to the right, do 2, move to the right, and do 2 and move to the right 4 times, and we should get 4 beautiful flowers. We will see. Okay. So as you continue going, they obviously get progressively harder. So now we're going to head back over to our projects page. we are going to take a look at the music mixer. I apologize in advance if the music that I create today is a little annoying or hard on the ears. Oh, here we go. That is a previous one I was working on. So it is good to know that if your students begin creating something on their computer, it will automatically keep it saved for them for the next time that they come back. And this is what their final project will kind of look like. We're going to go ahead and clear this one, start from scratch here. Okay, first what we're going to do is drag our sound toy over here, our music mixer. And we can choose from acapella, country, electronic, hip hop, pop, and rock. Let's go with rock today. And we're going to add in our sound ring. See that all pop up there? We're going to add in our sound shape and our variables for the number of notes and the speed that it'll be set to. For our sound shape, let's start with a square. How many notes should we do? Let us go with 3 just to start out. With a speed of 5. We can always come back later and adjust these. So then we can go ahead and play that. We click start down here. Sounds a little funky by itself, but if we add another sound ring, add our shape and our variables, we can add to it. We'll add a diamond this time, and we'll do 5 and 7. And we're going to do 10. Maybe we'll go fewer. Still sounds a little weird, but you can keep playing around with it, keep adding more. It's kind of fun to play around with all the number of notes and the speeds. As you go, you can adjust accordingly. Students can decide what they like. I think this is a great tool that allows students to be creative. You know, some students are going to have more of an interest in music, and this is a way to show them how technology and science can relate to arts and that more creative side. We're going to try hexagon. So basically I'm terrible at creating music, but this is really fun. We're going to go ahead and say we're done though for now, but you can continue adding more sound rings, different shapes, adjusting the numbers until you get the project that you want, the sound that you want. When you click done, it'll tell you exactly what you learned again. It gives you the option to download it. And then you can go ahead and open it up and save it. They could send it to their parents. They can share it however they want. Maybe they present it to the class. But I do think that this is an absolutely great, fun way for students to learn how to use coding. And with the robot garden, it's a little more challenging, a little more logic, thought-oriented. So you get kind of the best of both worlds there. I'm going to show you some resources here. This is for if you want to find other places that you can code online, different ways to code, other great ways to use games and coding. to create things. I just think that this is a really great way to use aspects of science and technology and creativity in the classroom. I personally think that I would use this as a tool for students to play with when I'm working with individuals or small groups on specific things and they need something to do, or possibly when they enter the classroom each morning. If rather than them playing any other game, this would be a good educational option. And there are several great math and science and reading tools that are out there. But I think this is definitely one that I would want to add to my arsenal. So I really hope that you learned a lot here. I hope you'll check out Made with Code by Google and give it a shot and kind of play around with it and see how it might fit your classroom needs.